Hello friends, I am going to take now presettable counter. In a presettable counter, we will take two parts, part 1 as well as part 2. This is the lecture 10 which is presettable counter 1. What is the presettable counter? Until now what you have studied about the counter? You have studied about a binary counter. The counter which is counting from binary number 4-bit binary counter means starting from 0000 to ending of 1111 strictly in a binary progression, either in a count up mode or it is in a count down mode. You have studied asynchronous counter as well as synchronous counter, and then after you have studied that this counter can be modified using force feedback method, and that way you have studied mode 3 counter and mode 5 counter. Mode 3 counter can be prepared using 2 flip-flop and mode 5 counter can be modified from natural counter of modulus of 8. By skipping 3 state, it is converted to mode 5 counter. After that, it can be combined with lower modules of the counter, so many blocks, and a different modules of the counter can be prepared. So, we'll start with this presettable counter. Up to this point, we have discussed the operation of the counters that progress through a natural binary counter count sequence in either a count up or count down mode, and have studied two counters that have a modified count, a mode 3 and mode 5 counter. With this basic configurations and with cascaded combination of this basic unit, it is possible to construct a counters that have a moduli of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 and so on. What does it mean? If you are having a single flip-flop, it is a modulus of 2 counter. If you are having, you can convert a mode 4 counter into the mode 3 counter, that already we know that. So we can say that we can have a mode 2 counter, we can have a mode 3 counter, we can have a mode 4 counter, mode 5 counter also we have prepared. Mode 6 counter also we have studied, that means 2 multiplied by 3 and 3 multiplied by 2, that way mode 6 counter was prepared. Mode 8 counter is a binary natural counter using 3 flip-flops. Counter 9 can be prepared by using 3 by 3, that means 2 modules of 3 counter connected in cascade mode, and we can have modules of 9 counter. We can have 2 multiplied by 5 or 5 multiplied by 2, that way also decade counter or mode 10 counter can be prepared, and so on. So this way a higher modulus of the counter can be obtained by connecting or by taking a cascading of any number of lower modules of the counter. The ability to quickly and easily construct a counter having any desired modulus is so important that the semiconductor industry has provided a number of TTL MSI circuit for this purpose. What is the meaning of TTL? Transistor logic. And MSI means medium scale integration. That means using large number of gates and flip-flops, they have constructed a 4-bit counters normally. And so many ICs are available in the market. The presettable counter is a basic building block that can be used to implement a counter that has any modulus. Nearly all the presettable counters available as TTL MSI are constructed by using 4 flip-flops, and they are generally referred to as 4-bit counter. So normally available counters in a market, in industry, they are preparing TTL MSI with 4-bit counter with 4 flip-flops, and that means it is having a maximum count length is from 0 to 15. That is modulus of 16 counter is ripple count is counter is there. They may be either synchronous or asynchronous. So this counter can be either synchronous counter or it can be asynchronous counter. When connected such that the count advances in a natural binary count sequence from 000 to 1111, it is simply referred as binary counter. So that is known as normally either it is asynchronous or synchronous. Either it is in count up mode or count down mode, but it is known as a 4-bit binary counter. For instance, the IC 5474161 and IC 5474163 are both synchronous binary counters that operates in count up mode. 5474191 and 5474193 are also synchronous binary counters, but they can operate either in a count up mode or a count down mode. That means you can understand 54 stand for military applications and 74 stand for commercial applications, but these are the TTL ICs. Now, this all four IC 74161, 74163 or 74191, 74193. All these IC are synchronous binary counter, 4-bit binary counter. Now what is the difference? 161 and 163 are binary counter, but they can operate only in a count up mode only. They cannot operate in a count down mode. While these two IC which is developed later on, 191 and 193, they can operate in a count up mode also as well as in a count down mode also. Since the decade counters is a very important and useful configurations, many of the basic 4-bit counters are internally connected to provide a modified count of 10, a mode 10 or decade counter. For instance, a 5474160 and 5474162 are synchronous decade counters that can operate in a count up mode. So similarly here, remember these things. 5474160 and 5474162. They are modified from 161 and 163 and they were converted into decade counter or modules of 10 counter, but they can operate only in count up mode. They cannot operate in a count down mode. While these ICs, the 5474190 and 5474192 are also synchronous decade counters, but they can operate either in a count up mode or in a count down mode. So these two IC 190 and 192, they are synchronous decade counter, but they can operate in a count up as well as count down mode. The counters mentioned above are all TTL MSI circuits, and as such, we have little control over internal logic used to implement each counter. That means whatever circuit it is going to be prepared inside the IC, you cannot change, you cannot modify. That means you cannot operate this IC according to your will, but what is the IC which is having a circuit, accordingly you have to understand its operation and requirement, according to your requirement you have to choose the necessary ICs. So the counter mentioned above are all TTL MSI circuits. As such, we have little control over the internal logic used to implement each counter. Our concern is directly at how each unit can be used in a digital system. So in a digital system, according to our requirement, we have to choose the IC and we have to understand the operation of that particular IC. Thus, we consider each of this counter as a logic block and our effort are concentrated on inputs, output and control signals. So, IC's pin diagram we have to understand, and we have to understand how the inputs are given, what kind of inputs and outputs are there, and what type of the control signals are supposed to be required. Even so, the logic block diagram is given for each counter Since the knowledge of internal logic gives a depth of understanding that is invaluable in a practical application. That means whatever this I say internally connected, that logic circuit diagram is given in Malvino and Leach. If you want to study that one, if you want to see that circuit, you can go through you can refer to the Malvino and Leach and you can understand, and that knowledge is also invaluable. But you cannot change it. Now, one of this IC we are going to study. That means synchronous up counters we are going to study. And when I am mentioning synchronous up counter, that means counter is operating in up mode only. It cannot operate in a down mode. That means this IC we are going to selecting to study. 5474163 as a synchronous 4-bit counter are given in figure 10.25. The pinout contains a logic block diagram for this unit. The power requirements are plus VCC and ground on pin number 16 and 8 respectively. That means this IC is a TTL IC. Either it is going to be 54 series or 74 series. And 163 is there. That means it is having a 4-bit synchronous counter. And it is a 4-bit binary synchronous counter is there. Pin diagrams we are going to study here in the next slide. And this IC is of normally 16 pin IC which require a VCC on pin number 16 and ground should be connected on pin number 8 respectively. Here it is a TTL IC, so VCC is equal to plus 5 volt. Regulated power supply is required. The clock is applied at on pin number 2 and you will notice from the diagram that output changes the state on positive clock transition. That means on positive transition of the clock only, on the rising edge of the clock only, the counter is advancing one count. Actually, the flip-flops are negative edge triggered because they are JK master flip-flops. JK master slave flip-flops are there, so they are responding on the trailing edge, but you know that the clock is applied through the inverter to the flip-flop. So the output is actually occur on positive transition of the clock pulses. Sorry. So output changes the state on a positive clock transition. The 4 flip-flop outputs are QA, QB, QC and QD. While carry output on pin number 15 can be used to enable successive counters stage as for example units, tens, 100, etc. We have seen in a mode 10 counter. That means we are connecting mode 10 counter in a successive way. That means they are connected in cascade mode. So there was a unit counter, then in middle one that was a 10th counter, and then it was a left 100 counter was there. So they can count a maximum of 999 pulses. It can be increased also, and that way output of one flip-flop is connected, output of one counter, that is carry out, should be connected to the clock input of the next counter, and that way the use of the carry out is there. So pin number 15 on carry out should be connected to the pin number 2 of clock input of the next counter when they are connected in a cascade mode. You can see this pin diagrams. This is dual inline, that means dual two sides, inline, line package, straightly in a line package, this IC is there. So it is called DIP. Now you have to understand the pin diagrams of this one. Pin number 1 is a clear, and here the bubble is shown. What it means? That means the pin number 1 is active low. Clear is active low. Whenever you activate this clear, all output becomes 0. QA, QB, QC and QD. They are the output of the flip-flops. And this output, that is MSB, is going to be QB, then Next MSB is going to be QC, then QB and LSB is going to be QA. They become 0, 0, 0, 0. So as soon as you activate the clear input, that is going to be low, all flip-flops is going to be resets. Pin number 2 is the clock input. Positive triangle is shown here and bubble is absent. It indicates that the flip-flop or the counter is advancing count with a positive transition of the clock pulse. Here A, B, C, D is the data inputs. This is important for the presettable counter. Pin number 3 is A, pin number 4 is B, pin number 5 is 6 and pin number 6 is D. So here you can provide the data input. So if you want to preset the counter at a particular state, then corresponding binary number should be provided at ABCD. And when the clock is given, these inputs or this data input is transferred at the output QA, QB, QC and QD. So this is the use of data input. We can preset this counter, that's why it is called presettable counter. You can preset this counter from any count, from 0 to 15, any count you can preset this one. Pin number 7 is enable inputs, that is high. You can see that there is only line. Pin number 10 is also enable inputs, so that is also line. So this is going to be activated when they are high. That means P and T both should be high, so IC is going to be activated and this counter will work in a normal operations. Pin number 9 is a load input, and here bubble is indicated. What it means? The load input is low, active low. That means when this pin is low, this pin is going to be activated and whatever data input ABCD is there, they are going to be loaded into the flip-flops on next clock pulses. That means this is a synchronous clock is given to this one. Pin number 15 is your output, pin number 16 is your VCC and pin number 8 is the ground. This is the way you can understand the pin description of IC 54 or 74163. The two enable inputs, I am repeating here, P on pin number 7 and T on pin number 10 are used to control the counter. If either enable input is low, the counter will cease to advance. That means both the input should be high, then and then only IC is going to be activated. If either of the input is low or both the input is low, then IC will stop to advance the content of the counter. Both this input must be high for the counter to count. A low level on the clear input will reset all the flip-flops output low at the very next clock transition, regardless at the level of enable inputs. So you understand here, a low level on the clear input will not directly reset all the flip-flops, but it will wait for the clock pulse to occur. So after giving one clock pulse, all the flip-flop is going to be reset. So it is called a synchronous clear. Remember this word. That's why it is called synchronous clear. IC 74163 is having synchronous clear and IC 74161 is having asynchronous clear. Remember, asynchronous clear means it will not wait for the clock pulse to clear the flip-flops, and if it is a synchronous clear, here it is a synchronous clear. So after activating that clear input, you have to provide one more clock pulse so that all the flip-flops are going to be reset or all the flip-flop outputs are going to be low. This is called a synchronous reset since it occurs as a positive clock transition. On the other hand, note that 5474161 has an asynchronous clear since it occurs immediately when the clear input goes low, regardless of the level on the clock, enable or load. That means asynchronous clear will be activating immediately in IC 74161. It does not bother about the clock transition, does not bother about the enable inputs P and T, whatever the condition may be there, or load inputs. So, when a low level is applied on the load inputs, the counter is disabled, and very next positive clock transition will set the flip-flop to agree with the level present on the 4 data input DCBA. For instance, suppose that the data input are DCBA are is equal to 1101 and the load input is taken low. The very next positive clock transition will load this data into the counter and the output will becomes QD, QC, QB and QA is equal to 1101. 1101 means count 13, you can see that. Decimal equivalent of this one is going to be 30. So, you want to start the counter from 13. You want to preset the counter from 13. That means the data input you have to provide DCBA is equal to corresponding to that binary 1101. This data should be given. D is equal to 1, C is equal to 1, B is equal to 0 and A is equal to 1. This kind of data should be presented as data input on this IC. And then after what you have to do? You have to make this load input active. So it is going to be activated when it is going to be low. So load input should be low. Then this IC, this load is going to be activated. And then when you apply a clock pulse, then on a positive edge of the clock pulse, this data will be loaded into the flip-flop and QD will takes the value of D, QC will takes the value of C, QB will take the value of B and QA will take the value of A, and that way it is going to be preset to the state 1101. This is a very useful function when it is desired to have counter beginning counting from a predetermined state. That means we want to preset this counter from a particular state. Corresponding to that, data should be given DCBA, and you have to activate the load input and then give one clock pulse so that data is going to be loaded or the counter is going to be preset from that particular state, and then after deactivate, remember, deactivate the load input, that means make it high, and then after make the continuous clock pulses. So counter start counting from that particular state and it is advancing to the next in a count up mode. For the counter to count upward in a normal binary count sequence, it is necessary to hold enable inputs P and T and load inputs and the clear inputs all high. So if you want to operate this counter as a normal binary counter starting from 000 to 111, what you have to do? You have to hold the enable inputs. They should be active. That means P should be high and T should be high. That means enable input should be high. Load input should be inactive. It is going to be inactive when it is going to be high. Clear input is also supposed to be inactive. Once you activate, all flip-flops are going to be low and then you make it inactive. That means now all these control signals enable, PNT, load and clear makes it high and apply the clock pulses. The IC is going to be activated. So contain of the counter is going to be advancing by 1 and it is counting in a count up mode. Under these conditions, the counter will advance one count for each positive clock transition, progressing from count 000 to count 1111 and then repeating this sequence. So it will work as a modulus of 16 counter. Since the flip-flops are clocked synchronously, the output changes the state simultaneously and there are no counting, spike or glitches associated with the counter output. It indicates that this counter is working as a synchronous counter, and you know the advantage of the synchronous counter. It is glitch free waveforms is going to be possible when you decode any state. So Since the flip-flops are clocked synchronously, all the flip-flops are changing the state in a synchronous with the clock pulses, the output is glitch free. The state diagram given in figure 10.26a shows the normal count sequence where each box corresponds to one count or state, and the arrow shows how the counter progresses from one state to the next state. The count length can be very easily modified by making use of synchronous clear input. So, now we are going to study one more application of this one. That means we are going to modify this counter. The count length can be very easily modified by making use of synchronous clear input. It is simple matter to use a NAND gate to decode the maximum count desired and use the output of the NAND gate to clear the counter synchronously to the count 0000. So now what we are going to utilize here? We are going to utilize here the clear input. When the clear input is going to be active, when the clear input is going to be low, it is going to be activated. So you are going to utilize one NAND gate. 4 input NAND gate we are going to utilize, and all the input of the NAND gate is going to be high, so the output of the NAND gate is going to be low, and it is connected to the clear input of this IC, that is pin number 1. So whichever maximum state you desire, that corresponding to that state, a input must be provided. That means fundamental product corresponding to that state should be provided, so that output of the NAND gate is going to be low and the clear input is going to be activated, and next clock pulse, that is the maximum count which is going to be appear QD, QC, QB, QA, and then after when you give the next clock pulse, flip-flops are going to be resets. That means they start the counting again from 000 and then will come to that particular state. Again it is going to be reset, so that way the count length is going to be modified. So it is simple matter to use a NAND gate to decode the maximum count desired and use the output of the NAND gate to clear the counter synchronously to the count 0000. This is the use of synchronous clear. Remember, it does not reset all the flip-flop immediately, but it will wait for the clock pulse to reset all the flip-flops 00. The counter will then count again from 0000 up to the maximum desired count and then clear back to the 0000. This is the technique that can be used to construct a counter that has any desired modulus of the counter. For instance, suppose I want to prepare a modulus of 10 counter, right? So what is the maximum decimal equivalent which is required? 0 to 9. So 9 should be there, and corresponding to 9, what is the binary number? 1001. So what kind of input I have to give to the NAND gate so that output of the NAND gate is going to be low? QD should be 1, QC should be 0. That means QC bar is going to be 1, QB is going to be 0. So QB bar is going to be 1 and QA is 1. So if this input is given to the NAND gate, then at this particular state is going to be occur, then the output of the NAND gate is going to be 0 and it will reset all the flip-flop on the next positive edge of the clock pulse. So for instance, if a maximum count of 9 is desired, we connect the input to the NAND gate to decode the count 9. So DCBA is equal to 1001 as QD, QC, QB and QA. We then have a mode 10 counter. Since the count sequence is from 0000 up to 1001. The NAND gate used to decode the count 9 along with the modified state diagram are shown in figure 10.26b and C respectively. Notice that it was necessary to use the two inverters to obtain QB bar or QC bar. because in IC we don't get output pins QB bar and QC bar. So QB and QC should be inverted through a NOT gate to obtain QB bar and QC bar. The modified state diagram has solid boxes for the states in the modified mode 10 counter and decimal boxes for omitted states. You can see that this is called state diagram of mode 16 counter. State 0 is there. This arrow indicates in which direction it is going to progress when it is working as a normal counter. That means when the next positive edge of the clock pulse will be there, it will advance from 0 to 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Again, when the next clock pulse will be there, it will be advancing from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and like that way 8 and then 12, then again 15, and after 15, 1, 1, 1, 1, it is going to be reset to 0, and this way it will work as a normal Modis of 16 counter when all control signals are going to be high. P and T is going to be high, load input is going to be high, and clear input is going to be high. Then it will work as a normal counter of Modis of 16 counter is there, or 4-bit synchronous counter is going to be there. Now, if you want to modify this counter, then what you have to do? You are utilizing this kind of NAND gate, and the input of the NAND gate, or one of the input is QA, which is going to be 1. Directly it is required. QD is also required to be 1. QC you require to be 1 here. So QC is going to be 0. So it is used through inverter. QC bar will be there. Here also QB is 0. So QB bar is going to be 1. So all are going to be 1. So output is going to be 0, and that is connected to the clear input on pin number 1 of this IC. So you can see that when the counter is starting counting from 0, 0, 0, once it is clear, it is starting from 0, 0, 0. Then it will progress to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. This is the maximum count is going to be there. So it will hold this state, and when the next clock pulse will be there, then what happens? Output of the NAND gate is going to be low, and it is activating the clear inputs, and all the flip flops are going to be reset. So the output are going to be 0, 0, 0, 0. QA, QB, QC and QD are going to be 0. That means it is reset from count number 9 to the 0. And this decimal box which indicate that these states are going to be omitted, and it is starting from 9 to 0. So that way the number of states through which it is going to be progress is going to be 10 only, and that way it is modified to Modis of 10 counter or decade counter. Thank you very much, friends.